Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Into the Breach. We're headed down to RST Island, again saving Archive Inc. for last. And all I have to do is not forget to destroy all the time pods. It's that easy. SB, just destroy all the time pods. We're doing alright so far. We could probably keep it up. Alright, destroy 2 mountains, kill 7 enemies. I mean, we gotta do this one, because this one's where the core is, and we need the reactor cores way more this run than we usually do. But I'm not super optimistic about getting it done. Let's put you here. So what do we have? We have a beetle. I kind of think I want to stack up in the columns where there aren't any buildings in the hopes that the beetle will try to rush one of us instead of one of the buildings, and we'll be able to just step out of the way. So you can see three of the mountains start damaged. Destroy 2 mountains, kill 7 enemies. It's a lot of violence. Perhaps more than I have access to. Okay. Well, if we just push this guy one space this way, he'll destroy that mountain for us and also not murder our very important robotics lab. So that sounds like a pretty important one. What else? What else? Pretty easily push the Shell Scion over here. What's the attack order? This guy's a problem. It is worth remembering that I do have the 4-space teleport available. Look at that. We want to try to get at least... We want to get a 4-space teleport at some point during this battle, so I don't have to think about it anymore. I hate Shell Scion. Okay, so we move this guy this way, we teleport this guy out, and then we just have to deal with him. So the question is, which tools do I use to do which thing? This one pretty much has to be a teleport, right? Because 1 space in any direction is not good enough. Unfortunately, I don't actually want it to be a 4-space teleport, because 4 spaces puts him here. But I could just swap Lily with him right where she is, and that would be fine. And actually, that way he gets shot, too. That's pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't get to put the Shell Scion in harm's way, nor do I even get to set him on fire, it looks like. Oh, it looks like the double range flamethrower does set fire to both the spaces, even if there's an enemy in the first one. That's good to know. But yeah, so I think this has to happen. And then we just... trying to figure out if there's any reason to do this in any particular way, and I think the answer is no. So I'm just going to move you here. Oh, well, actually, hold on. No, I can't quite get on the spawner. Never mind. We'll deploy the tank. Have the tank do the push here. And then you just, step over here and fire there. Oh, that does kill my tank immediately, doesn't it? That would be a reason not to do that in that exact way. Although, actually, I guess that wasn't super avoidable. If I want to push this guy this way, I have to do it like this. Yeah, we boot the tank early, but honestly, I don't think this is that bad. It gets a lot of good stuff done. Get some damage on some enemies. That guy's going to burn out in a couple of turns. That's one of the mountains we need. We do need to get some kills here because it's important that we get new enemies to spawn. We can't kill 7 enemies if we don't get 7 enemies. So I'm a little concerned about that, I guess, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so huge number of things to worry about here. We have 4 enemies attacking buildings. I can use some of them to block some of the others. But not really in an ideal way. Attack order is... okay, this guy's really high. So if we move this guy to, like, we'd have to move him over and move him up. That's a lot of motion. Let's see. If I shoot an artillery shot right here, it slams that guy into the mountain, which will kill him when his turn begins, because he'll burn. It'll do a fire damage here, soften this guy up. It'll push you back to here, which unfortunately means that you're still doing damage to 2 buildings. Or a space with 2 buildings in it, rather. We can swap this guy into this position, but that doesn't help us that much. It stops this attack, but he's still a problem. So I could do this thing, the Shell Scion Slam, with either of the fire mechs. Unfortunately, Lily can't quite get to the position where she can warp this guy back far enough to just have him kill the Shell Scion. But she can have him kill this guy. Right? Like, this is pretty good. Swap to here. And actually, that destroys a mountain, too. And then, that just leaves you, right? Oh, no, you and you. Oh, no, this guy, yeah, this guy doesn't matter. It just leaves you. But that's still a problem. I guess what I have to do is... No, actually, like, I really don't have an answer for that. Right, because if we're swapping this Alpha Crab to here, that means I can't push the Alpha Firefly down. But I also can't push the Alpha Firefly up, because I could only shoot this space from here, which is the space that needs to be clear for him to move up. Alright, let's try to figure out something else here. God, that's so close to a good plan. Okay, how else could I do this? Right, this doesn't work. Hold on, let me make sure that I'm not missing something really obvious. So we do the swap here, causing this guy to kill this mountain and this other guy. That would result in 1, 2, 3 enemy deaths this turn, which puts us back on track. It also means that we are totally good on mountains. This guy's already irrelevant. So the only problem is this dude, but he is a completely intractable problem with that strategy. There's actually no way for me to deal with him. We're really close, too. There are a number of ways to almost move into a position where I can deal with him. Yeah, if I could just move... Let me think here. Is there a way to set up... Or way to set this up differently? There isn't, really. This space is just... It's too crucial. The meteor mech is in a bad position. Okay, what other options do I have? I can push this guy down very easily. He's the last attacker, so pushing him down and then teleporting him over here does not help us. He has way too much health for us to use the other Firefly against him, though. Ugh, you know, if the, God, if he only did 1 damage, you know? It's like, what I'm looking for is a plan that only lets this guy through, then. So I like this thing, we smash this dude. You know, maybe I just eat the 2 damage, because that plan really does deal with a lot of the other stuff on the table very well. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. Alright, so fire time will be good. And then you... I could just set him on fire. Yeah, it would be safe to stand here. I don't want to set him on fire because I can't move the alpha crab. That's not safe. I could have sequenced this a little bit differently so I could set him on fire, I guess. What else of value can I even do? Actually, very little. Like, I should definitely start a fire somewhere. The question is, where? And I could back off to here. And just shoot there. That at least deals a little damage to him. That pushes this guy into the path of that attack that's still happening, though. Yeah, I don't think I can deal any damage. Well, since we're accepting the damage here... No, that's not great. Yeah, I can't do any damage to this guy in a way that doesn't have immediate severe repercussions. So I guess I just shoot fire on a pretty much random space. But it has to be a space that doesn't ruin any of the other things we're doing. Here? Just make fire. Make there be fewer spaces for the enemies to walk on safely. Alright, so good fire damage. Then the artillery bugs do some work for us. That's a star. I think the odds of making it to 7 kills are not great. Not impossible, certainly, but it's not awesome. Okay. They have chosen to be kind to us. I appreciate. So we have 4 move. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I move this guy over into the fire, we can get some good damage done there. Okay, so this guy will burn to death before the end of the mission. And then... I want to swap with this guy, but I want to do it from here so that he ends up in the fire. And so he'll also burn to death now. That's 5 enemies. So I have to kill 2 enemies next turn, and I need to get my 4-space teleport. So hopefully those things dovetail. I do love a wasp. Wasps are, generally speaking, the least threatening enemies. That guy only has 2 health, too. That's a killable amount of health. So, I need a good 4-space teleport. Is there a 4-space teleport anywhere that is relevant to any plan? I think the answer to that is no. Yeah, it sure doesn't look like it. Could we make that not be the case anymore? Let's see, you're dead, you are probably killable, but neither one of these guys is. 4 health is too much. There's a spot of acid on the ground, but I have no way of pushing anybody reasonable into it. So yeah, we're not getting 7 kills. That's a shame. Well, this guy does deal 3 damage when he hits. Maybe we can work that somehow. How, though? We need him to kill... Actually, what's the order of attacks? If I just swap with this guy, he dies. No, he doesn't. This guy won't actually hit him for 3 because of the fire. This guy is the only one whose attack will actually go off. Yeah, I can't get to 7, I don't think. We can get to 6, but that's it. Alright, well then let's make a force-based teleport of any kind. It actually doesn't matter. This is as good as any, I think. Get that achievement. And then we just deal with this guy in some kind of way. If I set him on fire and then push him, he actually still doesn't die. Trying to figure out if there's any way at all. If I set him on fire and then push him into the path of the beetle, he dies. That's some decent XP. Yeah, okay, can I do that? No. No, actually, I can't. Alright, well, that being the case, then I just, like, yeah, I just push him, because we can't. I don't think we can get any points on him. And then... you actually can't do anything meaningful. I'm gonna blow up this mountain just for good measure. Actually... yeah, it won't even die. Alright, we get some decent XP, though, from the alphas dying. Unfortunately, Lily is soaking up the plurality of all of the experience. Well, we got our core. Alright, lady. Most of the buildings are still standing. Easily 80%. Okay, so we're done with this. Let's get that ice generator online. And of all the things we could spend 1 core on, what is the best? It feels to me like this is probably something we want to be building toward. That +2 damage is big. We've actually had a number of situations where our poor move here ended up being a problem. I think that's a good way to do that. Okay, take less than 3 grid damage. That is way more a thing we can do. So once again, we have charging enemies. Just going to try to get them to charge into columns that are empty. Okay, that guy put himself right next to the water, which I appreciate. That guy is charging the empty column. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. Let's see. What is the best way to do this? This guy is 8 XP short of a victory. Or of a level up, rather. We can make that happen, I'm sure of it. So, we could pull a... we could use the tank to drop this guy in the water. We could use the meteor mech firing from here, or firing here, to push this guy off the level, because all these spaces will cataclysm. And then we actually don't have to do anything else. We'll swap this guy back onto a spawner. I think that's pretty reasonable. So I actually just want you to get out of the path of the crab. This thing has 3 move, which is just enough to make this work. Interesting that splits the XP. I would have expected it to give it all to him. Then we do this to generate a little bit of damage here. And then this. This does mean I take a damage. But it kills this guy and blocks the spawn. And then the spawner here will not actually produce an enemy because it will cataclysm out. Yeah, this is acceptable losses here. Alright, well that was nice of him. We could swap this guy into this row. He'll charge forward and block that spawn for us. You're already dead. Oh no, I have to push him down 1 space for this to work. That's actually fine, right? This is good. So that's blocked. This won't actually happen. You get to block here. And Acid Tank, I guess? Oh no, actually, it's really good for Acid Tank to do this. Yeah. So that guy is on fire and covered in acid now. That seems alright. You can just start fires. Start fires, yeah. Well, it's like they're not even trying. And everybody just don't stand in the cataclysm? You can stand in the cataclysm. Alright, so we got to focus a little bit of XP all the way onto a mech who can actually use it. That's just gonna happen. Boy, these Vec do not understand the rules of this level very well. I mean, I guess their hive is sort of like in the center of the earth, so maybe it's not even a big deal. Just sending them home. I do like the sound of Detonation Bay. Trains can be tough, though. Storm Summit, where we defend some bombs, I guess is okay. Really don't want to go for another kill 7 enemies mission. You know, the train can be tough, but this gives us access to the last one. We can make our choice from all of the available levels. I think there's some value in that. So once again, with the charging enemies, it's pretty much the same rationale here. We can set Lily a little bit more off-center than the Flame Mech because she's got all that movement. Alright. From your future is incoming. That's probably the only time pod we'll see. This is inconvenient. Fortunately, we can get 2 birds with 1 stone here by pushing this guy back onto the time pod. I guess that doesn't really solve the big problem, does it? How do we solve this problem? Now, that's a serious issue. Well, we could use the teleporter to swap him to here, and then use somebody else to push him off the tracks. Meteor Mech. Because we don't have to actually deal with that many enemies this turn. Right, like swap him to here. No, sorry, we swap him to here and then we have to use a thing to push the swap mech off the tracks. Because the swap mech will be in the way of the train. And that thing could be I drop a fireball on the time pod, right? Okay. And then all we have to do is deal with this. Which is... Yeah, this is a job we can just do with the tank so as to have deployed the tank. Okay. No kills, but we block a spawn and we've done some setup. Not only no kills, but actually no damage of any kind. We did kill somebody who came back from the future to save our lives, though. So I guess you could call that progress. We're gonna have a lot on our hands this coming turn. Okay. A lot of enemies politely targeting my mechs rather than the buildings. I do appreciate that. Please. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So, these guys are irrelevant. This is a little awkward to deal with. I guess it's not really. I could just push him down. So, we can push you to the side. You can't stay here. We can use you to push this guy down pretty easily. The swap mech can just swap this dude into the attack. And that's good, right? We're all set then? We kill one enemy, we get one new spawn. I guess that doesn't do anything to the acid. And that doesn't have us using the acid tank at all. The acid tank can move and push this guy so we can still block the spawn, I guess. Okay, we get one dead enemy out of all of this. I feel like I'm doing a lot of work to not actually produce a lot of results over here. It's tough to be behind the power curve. This must be terrifying for this train that is moving full speed this whole time, obviously, right? Like it's not actually turn-based in the world of the game. This thing is just moving as fast as it can, and we're just barely getting out of the way over and over and over again. So if we swap the beetle to this row, he doesn't hurt any buildings, and he actually kills this guy for us. We can fire again at this spot, push this thing down, and then all we have to do is push this guy off the tracks, like... What's the attack order? If this guy was attacking first, we could push the Hornet up, have this guy kill the Hornet, and then have the Beetle charge through and kill that guy. That would be glorious. Let's do this thing that we know we're doing. I guess I can push this thing down. Just really put a lot of enemies into harm's way of each other here. This is really good. Oh no! The tank can't quite... I keep thinking the tank has 4 move. So as fun as that is, that's not... This guy has to push the... That's a shame. don't know why I keep thinking that tank has 4 move. There's no version of this that is meaningfully different than... Yeah, just get out of the way. We don't get quite the number of enemy kills I was hoping for. Yeah, it's all right. It's not fantastic. I think we're probably done with killing time pods, though. So, block Vex spawning 3 times. That's something we're pretty good at. In theory, it's better to get stars than it is to get power at this point. Yeah, alright, let's go for Storm Summit. Let's try it. We have a couple of beetles. The armor scion is up right away. Oh, it's another time pod. One last thing to worry about. Are these things fireproof? They are. Cool. Alright, how are we going to deal with all of the things here? Obviously, most of this stuff is totally ignorable this turn, which is good. So we could use the Flame Mech to kill the Shell Scion. If I want to deploy the tank, though, that's what I'm trying to figure out, is whether we can safely deploy the tank. So, like, it would be pretty good to swap Alpha Beetle into this column, have him deal some good damage here. I think that's very likely what we want to do. And then we could use Cinnabar to deploy the tank to slam this guy against the mountain for 1, and then all we have to do is set him on fire. Yeah, which we can do from this space. It'll push the bomb up to here, which is whatever. Yeah, I think that's right. Still haven't actually made use of our ice thing. So you can't quite make it to a spawn. I guess I'll keep you over here. I don't want to cluster my mechs too closely together. We've definitely had problems because of doing that in the past. Okay, so this guy will burn down. This guy will actually take 3 damage from the charge, and nothing else happens, except all of the enemy spawning, I guess. And thanks to the fact that Lily is from another timeline, we know of the importance of these bombs. I'm gonna take very good care of them. Okay, that guy covered himself in acid, which I really appreciate. Strong strategy. I do wish I had 3 range on my teleport, because it would be really nice to teleport this guy over to here. Well, this is not a bad time to use the ice thing, although... Let's see, actually, a fire shot to here would kill this guy while destroying the time pod, which is pretty good. Once this guy's frozen, they'll be able to move out. Yeah, actually, I like that a lot. Let's employ our ice. I was kind of hoping to be able to do it over a spawner for maximum value, but I think we shouldn't look this particular gift horse in the mouth. This is pretty good. Right, so we're gonna move the tank out so it doesn't get blown up. We can just solve this. Okay, what level up did we get? Ooh, that's a good one. We've been pretty lucky with our level ups the last couple of runs. We're not seeing a lot of grid defense. I feel like charging that hard into a mountain should deal some damage. This guy should be more injured than he is. Okay, let's see. I could use the meteor mech to do this. It breaks our guy out of the ice, also this guy. Causes that spawn to be blocked. I think the flame mech killing this guy off is a pretty obvious play. Let's just go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to push this guy down to here and swap him onto this spawner. So we don't have to deal with any new spawns. Just 2 enemies next turn. One of them coated in acid, one of them only having 2 health. I think this is a pretty good setup. And we've done an okay job this island. Man, these Leapers are just obsessed with Lily. Well, I think, once again, this looks pretty strong. Okay, all of a sudden we are in no danger at all. You can run forward far enough to really not accomplish very much. Sorry, we just push this guy in the water and then... I don't know, we can't really do anything to the Leaper. But yeah, that was good XP. I can set the Leaper on fire, but that's actually it. I can't get close enough to do anything to it beyond that. But we're going to do that out of spite. Yeah, you better run. Yeah, +1 reactor is very welcome. So... do I want to give the tank plus health, or... I kind of want to take plus health on the flame mech, actually. I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, Spider Leader, Corporate Tower. It would be really nice to get both of these stars. Okay, we want to create situations where there are 2 of us in a line. So I'm going to run us like this. Yeah. In the hopes that we can get these guys to try to line up their shots along one of these axes rather than, you know, here. Not working. It's not working. Okay, it worked there. Okay. This is not ideal. So we can move the flame mech to here. Shoot a fire shot here. Slams this guy into the flame mech, and then this guy and this guy are both on fire, and we get to do... so that's 1 damage from the slide. Then 2 damage from him taking the flamethrower shot, 1 more damage from the push again, and then he burns to death. And then Lily just, like, teleports a spider onto a spawner or something. I like that a lot. I like getting rid of one of these things right away. And actually, this thing still being alive means that's dead, which is cool. Why was I thinking that was going to set this space on fire? What? SB? What are you doing, man? In your head, what are you doing? Well, reset turn, because that doesn't work anymore. And if we shoot directly onto this guy, we don't get the 1 damage from the push, which means we're still not dealing enough damage. So, I could just go here and do a freeze. The freeze on us gets broken by that. It means this guy's not shooting spider babies all over the place. We do have to kill him, though. Hmm. How else could we stop you? We could just teleport you 2 spaces backward. Not totally ideal. I think that's probably what we're doing, though. This guy being frozen is going to make it a little harder to kill him. But we have the acid to work with and everything. We can figure it out. Like, I actually kind of wonder if I just want to do this and unfreeze him. No, I almost certainly want to deploy the tank, right? Just move to here and deploy the tank. Actually, deploy the tank over here so that it can do this. And then with this guy... There we go. That softens up the enemies a little bit. Okay, he's going to break the spider out, and I think we're, like, actually very, very okay with that. We're cool with letting that happen. So what do I want to do? Take this opportunity to set this guy on fire. I'm going to do that. I have to push this spiderling out, because I don't want him breaking that guy free. I'm not really sure what to do with the acid tank this turn. We're going to block some spawns, for sure. I guess the acid tank can be the one who takes care of this guy. We can go like this. Do a repair, which clears the acid. Push you into a big fire. And then just light this guy up. Something to do a little bit of work there. And then Lily has no play. I guess really the best version of this is like I use him to block spawns and stuff, but I'm okay with this. Obviously, it's fairly important that we get this guy killed. I guess we're on 6 reputation right now, so we're already on 2 reactor cores, and we actually can't get to 3 reactor cores as rewards, so maybe it's not that important. Alright. So we have to get acid on this guy, and we have to start dealing some damage to him. It'd be cool if this didn't happen. So we could have the flame mech move up here, push this guy, we could acid that guy, then drop some fire on him, which will have the additional effect of killing both of these eggs. And then the teleporter can figure out a way of fixing this problem. We get some spawns, but on the whole, it's not bad. We also block some spawns still. That guy eventually dies to the fire. Yeah, that's not bad. And then... I really don't want this unfreeze to happen. So I think the best play we have there is to do this swap, which kills another spider egg. So unfortunately, we are getting 2 new spawns, which is something I'm very worried about. But this guy's covered with acid and on fire, which means that we're likely to be able to get a good lethal flamethrower off. Leapers. I'm not super happy to see a lot of webs. Okay, nobody webbed the flame mech. That's good. And yeah, we do have the kill. If the acid tank just pushes this guy into that guy to squash him, free the space, we just walk up there and set him on fire. And we don't take it. Yeah, we have. This is actually pretty easy. We have a very easy solution here. This has the added benefit of killing that egg, although I'm not sure that actually matters. I don't even think that was worth XP. And then, unfortunately, there's no way we kill this guy now. Yeah, I don't see anything we can do there. He's not gonna do any damage, but we don't get to kill him. We can generate a small amount of XP here. Maybe we'll get lucky and it will fall to Nicola. Hey, it did. Okay, well, as far as 3 island scores go, I'm not super happy with where we are. Destroying all the time pods is a real bummer. Okay, let's see here. So we're almost certainly buying 2 reactor cores and none of this stuff. 2 reactor cores and a grid power and also a grid defense. Or like it's probably 2 reactor cores, a grid power, and this thing which we can sell for 1 star at the end of the next island. Just bank a little bit of power. And there we go. That's all of the globals that actually require us to do stuff to get them. So I'm feeling pretty great about that. This obviously is coming in time, and this it'll happen if it happens. It'll happen when it happens, not if. So that's going to be it for us for today. But we do have to remember we have 1 more island and then the final battle to try to get these 2 things done. I guess I haven't actually spent my cores yet. I think they both go into this mech. We just pull the health, get the range, and now we can set fire to a ton of tiles every battle. If we buy backburn with the next reactor core, to of course be replaced by +2 damage as soon as we get 2 more cores, I have a hard time believing we won't be able to make it to 12, especially given the forests and stuff. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time. I think I probably made a World on Fire reference. Listen, we're going to do fire, and you can just imagine a pun. And we'll see you then.